The price of Bitcoin is $26,528. This weekend, it had another rise to the upside. If we look at Bitcoin's price on the 1 hour chart right now, we'll see that throughout the course of this weekend, we've actually continued to rally. We reached a high recently of approximately $26,800 at this level right here. However, currently we're trading just below that level. The CME gap is open because where the markets closed on Friday evening was approximately the level of $26,390. Now, Bitcoin's price is really negligibly above that right now. The odds of us opening up a huge CME gap on Sunday seem pretty low. My trade right now is sat in a significant profit. That significant profit is about $48,000, and that is particularly good. I spent all day today on a racetrack, and it was hard work. It's now 10 o'clock at night. I've had my tea, and I'm back at the hotel filming some Bitcoin analysis because I really do think the markets are headed for a really good period of time in the next couple of weeks. And if you agree with me, slap a like on today's video. Even if you don't agree with me, slap a like on today's video, because today we're going to be analyzing the price of Bitcoin, analyzing the price of Ethereum, looking at today's cryptocurrency news, and we're going to be looking at some of my lap times as well. So if you wouldn't mind, do drop a like on today's video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, turn on those channel notifications, and let's crack on. First things first, of course, my Bitcoin trade is going pretty well right now. If you are interested in trading, check out BYBIT. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. That is the best exchange of which anybody can be trading on at this moment in time. Now, in terms of what is going on with regards to the crypto news, first things first, I'd like to point out there is an article that was published today on cryptosavingexpert.com called Block Size, What Happened to Mt. Gox. I'd recommend you read this article. It's fascinating and we can all learn from it. But first of all, Binance blocked funds from accessing, or rather, Binance has been blocked from accessing US customer funds in new deal with the SEC. This is particularly bullish news, especially for Bitcoin and the crypto markets in general, because the SEC is already somewhat relenting on the ridiculous legislation, or rather ridiculous rules and lawsuits and all these other things that they were trying to pass last week. Now, as that slowly calms down and as Blackrock slowly ramps up this Bitcoin ETF, we're headed for a very, very, very fun period of time in crypto. Because if you didn't know, currently Blackrock's record when it comes to ETFs is currently 575 to 1. BlackRock's record of getting ETFs approved by the SEC is 575 to 1. That's another reason this is so big. They don't play around. The odds of the US SEC rejecting the iShares Bitcoin Trust from existing is negligible. It's probably going to happen at this point in time. It's all but confirmed. You don't really say no to BlackRock. BlackRock is the US economy. They are the US dollar. If BlackRock was to sell all of their assets right now, the entire economy would collapse. It is the world's largest asset manager with over $1 trillion worth of assets under management. It's an insanely wealthy organization, and if they want a Bitcoin trust, they get a Bitcoin trust. And to describe Bitcoin trust, Bitcoin ETF, is it the same thing? Yes, it is, because all of that Bitcoin gets put into a trust and then an ETF is trading the trust funds, basically. That's how these things work. An ETF is important because basically it's the custodian of the funds, which is what the trust is. For people that don't understand the way that ETFs work, at the same time, gold has a trust for its gold ETF. Now, on the topic of Bitcoin's price, $26,530 is the current price of Bitcoin. If we go over to the 4-hour chart and look at what's been happening here and zoom out just a little bit, you'll see that we bounced very good off of this previous level of support that was mentioned in a previous video. At the same time as doing that, we're currently now tussling with this higher level that I discussed in the previous video, and the level of which Bitcoin needs to break through and close an hourly candle above is approximately right here at around $26,734. Now, if Bitcoin can break through that $26,734 level and close in a 1-hour candle above that level on Monday morning, we can expect next week the price of Bitcoin to rise up to this level right here, which is going to be where I start probably taking a little bit of profit on my trade, and that level will be approximately $28,000. At $28,000, that's $1,500 above where the price currently sits. What would that do to my trade? Well, if you work out I'm 35.87 Bitcoin long. That would mean for every 1 Bitcoin that I've got in this trade, I make $1,500, meaning that essentially this would be above $100,000 worth of profit. That's the goal here. I want to make 6 figures of profit on this trade. We shall see how that plays out, but ultimately very pleased to have this one open. And of course, I'm going to set my stop loss and my entry, although the odds of a drop down in Bitcoin's price in the next 24, 48 hours, especially over the course of a weekend, we've had all this bullish news, seems very, very unlikely. And so of course, we need to discuss what's going on with the price of Ethereum as well, because Ethereum's Bitcoin value has resumed dropping today. This is the 1 hour chart for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It had a bit of a rally to the upside and it started dropping back to the downside today. Ethereum's versus Bitcoin's value has lost 0.05% of its value today. However, if you look at it on the 5-minute chart, you can see that we had a pretty significant rally to the upside, having bottomed out around here, but it's all been undone. All of this recent gains has been undone. And I'm more hesitant on Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin right now. I'm not long on Ethereum right now. I am long on Bitcoin. The reasoning for that is, yes, looking at Ethereum's chart here, on the daily chart, you can see that we have this level of support now because it was previously resistance. It's turned into support. We can see that very clearly. But Ethereum isn't as attractive as an asset as Bitcoin is right now because of the Bitcoin ETF. It changes everything for Bitcoin. It's not an Ethereum ETF, it's a Bitcoin ETF. The Ethereum ETF will no doubt come later, but for now, Ethereum is struggling against Bitcoin. This is how every single bull run in the past, 7 years has started. Ethereum starts dropping against Bitcoin. Bitcoin starts taking up a bunch of market dominance that it is right now. If you look at Bitcoin dominance is making new highs for the past 2 years at this point in time. It's been rallying very, very significantly. The last time that we saw Bitcoin rallying like this, I mean, it's been a very, very long period of time since we've seen Bitcoin do anything like this. The last time we saw it rallying like this was, June 2018. So this is bottom of the bear market. Bitcoin starts coming out of the bear market. Bitcoin keeps coming out of the bear market. I'm expecting to see something like that pretty soon. So that's why I'm long on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is the play to be had right now. However, of course, I am being long on Bitcoin, being not long on Ethereum, but being a large Ethereum holder, it is something to take note that altcoins are in that place that I want to be accumulating them. I like to buy things while they're cheap, and then as soon as liquidity restores and interest restores, these things pump 40% every day for 2 weeks, and you make an absolute fortune because of the compound gains. That's what I'm looking at from an investor's perspective right now, but on the trading side of things, I'm long on Bitcoin. Anyway, as I said at the start of today's video, I spent all day on a track today. You can watch me live on ITV4 tomorrow, UK time at 4 o'clock. That's when they'll be broadcasting my race live on TV. Now, in today's race, it was an interesting one. It was wacky, it was wild. Fair bit of drama in today's race. It was a fun one overall, though. If you look at the overall speeds, you can see me here on the overall speeds. I was 10th on the overall speed here, and what's that? Like 15th on the overall speed in this next one. So in terms of speed, I'm there. I'm doing pretty decent in terms of the speeds. However, if we go over to the sector times, this is where I let myself down a little bit because sector 1, I just could not nail it. Sector 2, I was doing okay, but again, couldn't nail it. But if you look at my actual sector times, I'm not really that far off the pace. Again, the whole grid is covered by half a second up to second place in sector 2. And then in sector 3 right here, again, little bit off the pace, but at the same time, the entire grid is covered by half a second in sector 3. So I'm not that bad in terms of the sectors. Sector 1 is where I was struggling the most today. That's where I was by far off the pace because, again, I'm 1 second off the leader in sector 1. But overall, what did I think of the race? Well, if you ever want to not understand like where you can see all the timing statistics and have a look through how I did, you go to a website called TSL, and basically on TSL, you're looking for the events, which is the British Touring Car Weekends, round 5. Click on there, and essentially you go down to the mini challenge here, click on View PDF Book, and it'll show you all of the results so far. It's been an interesting round today. I had quite some drama. In fact, I can show you a little bit of the drama that I had because I've got a picture on my phone. Let me bring up that picture and I'll just show it to you and then we can wrap things up for today's video. Let's bring it up right here. There we go. And yes, that's me floating, completely floating. You can see there's only one wheel touching the ground there. So I had a little bit of drama in today's racing. But tomorrow, the race is live on ITV4. Give it a watch. I'll come to Oulton Park. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, slap a like on it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I won't be coming last tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to work my way through the pack. My best ever finish right now is in 14th place. Currently tomorrow I start in 16th. So if I make up 3 places, I could potentially make my best finish ever. So that's pretty exciting. So slap a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you at the track tomorrow. Goodbye.